Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and welcome to the 2022 Honda Civic Sport Touring Hatchback with a CVT. This presents a very interesting value proposition because if you're in the market for a Civic Si, this costs a little bit more and gives you a little bit less in the performance department. However, it is quite luxurious. This is really impressive. It's got leather interior, heated seats, a CVT to make your life a little bit easier, but you can get these in a manual. This one is outfitted with a 1.5 liter turbo, similar to the Si, but it's only making about 180 horsepower rather than 200. Now, when I was first in the market for my Civic Si, I was really looking for a 2-liter manual hatch like this, and I really do wish they made the Si in the hatchback because I think this is a lot more economical, and I think it allows you to fit more of your life into the car, although the sedan has definitely grown on me as an owner. The only thing about this car, though, is that we have a nicer interior, definitely more creature comforts, and this Civic is punching way above its weight because we always think of the Civic as such a plain, ordinary and entry-level car, but what you're getting in this thing now is actual luxury. So let's take a look under the hood. We've got a familiar sight here. There she is. Maybe not the most exciting thing in the world to look at in this trim, but it's just, it's our little workhorse. It's got boost, it's ready to go, and it provides enough torque to get us around a corner. What we don't get is the trick differential that you get in a Civic Si, but then again, you're gonna have to make some choices. Do you want the luxurious interior or do you want the performance? Let's take a look in this hatch. This is something I'm quite jealous of as a Civic Si owner. Oh, that is incredible. I actually really love the way this opens up too. This is a giant opening. You could fit anything in here. This is pretty wild. And I do dig these taillights. This car just is so much more cohesive, and I feel like it's more emblematic of the design language that Honda's taking on than the sedan. It's not a knock on the sedan, I just like it better. Let's take a look in the back seats as well. Slightly different layout, but there we've got leather, we've got our armrest, and of course the Acura hat that follows me everywhere. In we go, plenty of room, and actually the leather in this car is quite nice. It's not super premium, you're not getting into this car and smelling like an Aston Martin, but it is plush, it feels good, you've got charge ports, and yeah, we're ready to go. So let's get substitute Topher into this Boost Blue Pearl Honda Civic Touring and take a ride through the Pacific Northwest, because you might notice we are not in Kansas anymore. We are actually in Stevenson, Wisconsin, Washington.
It's always been my dream to be on the Tedward channel. So
this is great. It's finally happening.
Fulfilling my childhood dreams.
Let's start her up. The first thing I notice as a Civic Si owner in America is this dashboard, because we don't get that dashboard. That dashboard comes on the Civic Si in the Canadian market, not the North American market, or the American market, I should say. Here's the thing though, that's nice. That's actually really nice. I do like my analog tack, but you get more information on this. So let's go out to paradise and see what it's like out here. Now, one of the things that I'm so impressed with on the 11th gen Civic is this chassis. It's incredibly rigid, it's so well built, and it feels incredibly premium. What I'm curious about though is that I'm used to the more stiff Si suspension, and this sport touring hatch I anticipate to be a little more luxurious. I do have paddle shifters for the CVT, which I'm not a huge fan of that, but I understand it makes life a little easier when you're going downhill and you need to engine brake. Still have this gorgeous leather steering wheel, and the layout of these new Civics is just so good. It's so ergonomic, it's so easy to figure out. You've got volume knobs, you've got a touch screen. I know a lot of y'all have complained about an iPad in the center of the dashboard, but when you're driving the car, having this right at your fingertips makes life a lot easier. And having just driven the RDX, not to knock the Acura, it has the touchpad, like a mouse pad. You gotta just have a touchscreen that's within arm's length. I mean, I'm already noticing it's a softer car. This side-to-side motion, despite being on the same wheels and probably the same rubber as the Si, if you don't get the summer tires on the Si, there's more body roll, but this is way more luxurious. It's incredible how this is a Civic. This is a Civic.
I know.
What are we doing?
It's
I mean, it's
unreal.
more expensive than an SI, which is funny because it's like you'd think like, oh well, I'm gonna get this the top trim sporty model, but I gotta say, if you're not like an enthusiastic driver and you don't need that experience, this thing really provides incredible value. Let's see how this thing gets off the line. In comparison to the SI, I can't say it's much slower. There's a little bit less torque. There's a little bit less punch. But the fact that I don't have to shift and take time between those shifts, I think makes up for that. And I can't believe we're chasing down an Accord hatch in this thing. Like, what? How lucky are we?
So cool. Yeah.
This is great. We still have the same road noise problem in this car as we do in my SI, but that's all right. That's really just down to tires. Look at this dude. He's just kind of hustling it. I think if they brought the Acura sound deadening from like the RDX and stuff, which I assume, I haven't driven the Integra yet. We'll get there. But I think if this was like a quieter car, oh my God, would that go a long way?
I've heard the Integra is like 30% quieter. So
I can tell that this car definitely is softer once you pitch it into a corner. The front end is not quite as confidence-inspiring as, say, the SI. And it's funny because, like, I'm just kind of crawling. He's probably on the ragged edge of those tiny little tires.
he's driving at 11 temps.
He's just absolutely annihilating it. This is great. And what a road. We'll back off and then we'll catch him up again.
Have you noticed that this CVT is not as like painful as other CVTs to drive?
I am so anti-CVT, and I'm not noticing it that much in this car.
Right, exactly.
Which, am I brainwashed? Am I just a Honda fanboy now? But like, it's actually good. I'm impressed, and I never say that about these things. All right, so let's talk drive modes. You get drive modes. We'll go into sport mode. C8 Corvette convertible versus Boost Blue Civic. I think this is going to be a fun uphill when we come back.
Oh, this road is so cool.
You know, like I said, despite being a bit softer, I still have confidence to push it through the corner. Like, I think I've lost a little bit of the feedback at the front, but it's still good. God. Civics are so good. This is a 55 mile an hour. Legendary, guys. Really into the Pacific Northwest right now. This place just gets better and better. I mean, look at this view. Look at this bridge. These are real trains. Oh, man.
Wow.
I just can't believe where we are right now. This is unreal. This is fake. This is not real life.
Yeah.
I am the happiest person ever. Oh, there's an old Civic hatch. That's the stuff. Let's do a 0 to 60 in the Civic Sport. It does its job. It isn't quick. Neither is the SI. That's not the point. The point is we're still getting 20.3 miles per gallon, even though we're driving like jerks. I love it. I am in heaven. This is absolutely staggering right now.
This always happens to me when I'm out on an event and I'm supposed to be reviewing a car, but the whole time I just end up talking about how beautiful the scenery is.
Yeah, this is nuts.
Yeah.
I think that this car gets sold on heated seats alone. I am just absolutely loving this car. Absolutely loving these roads. I know it's a little hard to swallow that $30,000 pill on a Civic. You know, that is a thing because, you know, you can enter it so much cheaper. But, I mean, this is a pretty luxurious, great place to be. And if you didn't want to go that extra $10,000 to get something similar to this in the next, you know, higher segment, I mean, this is just really wild. But let's get her up the hill. of fun how the body roll actually just tucks it in. I feel like I've got some control over it because you kind of settle it in. Yeah, this thing is a real peach in a corner. You notice a little extra weight, but that's the sacrifice you make for some leather and power seats and things of that nature. It's a little more understeery, and I can't get this to grapple hook me around because I don't have the diff. I don't have that helical limited slip that pulls me in the SI. But you just use a little throttle control, and as long as you understand that putting your foot down means understeer, you're gonna survive. Steering, pretty communicative. I'm getting the information I need. You know, maybe a touch vague, but not by a long shot. It's actually luxurious. Like, that's what's so bizarre about this. It's like a luxurious car to drive in a lot of ways. Always blown away by the entry level, man. The entry level is getting so good. We're not forcing people into crummy cars anymore. And I think that's like a huge, remarkable change from the past. I mean, I feel like if you didn't have money, you drove junk. And now, if you've got a little bit of money, you can drive a really fabulous vehicle that you can be proud of, that you can actually like want people to enjoy. Like, you would never be embarrassed to walk out to this car. You would never be embarrassed to pick up a date in this car.
No, we were just talking about earlier off camera how much attention these cars get also, and how much positive attention they get.
Let's see, we'll play with the paddles for a second. The fake gears. As far as fake gears go, these are okay. D1. All right, let's see. Got everything in check for a little brake test?
Yep, I'm ready.
Braced yourself. Okay, here's from 65. We're just gonna dig into it. That's beautiful, and it's so good that that little speedo barely kept up. I saw a higher number stick there for a second. I was like, that ain't true. I'm wondering if it's a different pad compound than the SI. I might have to ask. Luckily we have engineers that we can ask questions to, so we'll get to the bottom of that. I'll put a little asterisk down there, but we'll do one more. I got no one behind me. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I feel like you get a little more out of that. Like, it's not throwing me through the windshield like I kind of wanted to, and I think that might be more of a factor of the tire than the pad. But overall, I'm just so impressed with the chassis of the 11th Gen Civic. It's so balanced, it's so easy to drive, and if you've got any semblance of car control and you understand weight transfer, this, you know, I say this all the time, it drives like a car is supposed to drive. Like, this drives like a car. You don't have to adapt to it. It's really easy to jump in this thing and just flog it to its wit's end. It's incredible, and I love a car that you don't have to adapt to. Detractions. CVT, I'm always going to complain about CVT. What would be really cool is if it had like a 10 speed. I just have to say it on camera. On my wish list is that the new Civic Type R comes with an option of all-wheel drive, super handling, all-wheel drive, and that way it could torque vector to the rear wheels. That would be absolutely staggering, and I know it won't happen, but I can wish for it, and I could even hope that the Integra gets a Type S, that maybe that is where the super handling all-wheel drive goes.
That seems more realistic.
That'd be really cool. It won't happen. It'll always be front-wheel drive, and that is spiritually sound. That's fine. I'm okay with it, but a boy can dream. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm going to come down through this beautiful, sleepy town here in Stevenson, Washington, and there's an MR2. Ooh, man, there's a lot of cool old cars around here, a lot of survivors. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. Check out what we just found. We found an old Honda Accord hatch. I'm really hoping that this, no, it's not with us, because I would love to get a chance to drive this. But look, there's like a new Civic Sport hatch, and here's an old Accord hatch. This is incredible to have these two together.
Smaller than the
This
Civic.
is great. Is this yours?
Yeah.
This is amazing, dude. This is incredible. Previa of my
on the-
dreams.
It's got like a roof extension.
That's incredible. High top Previa.